It is 7:35 here, and we're in the midst, or I'm in the midst of preparing dinner, cena. So, what I would like to prepare this evening is salmon, cod, asparagus, and black rice, which I'll show you. I should start off with my black rice. So, I learned a trick from my favorite cousin Ludzega, shout out to you, on how to cook rice. So check this out. Tell me, how many of you do this? So most people get the rice and they boil it, or they put it in the rice cooker, pressure cooker, or pressure pot, whatever you call it. Lou taught me a trick that he makes, that he does with his rice, because he prepares often curry rice. And his rice, because he makes in abundance, he prepares it well in advance. And he taught me a trick, which I later learned is something they do very often, probably always, in restaurants. He cooks his rice in the microwave. And ever since he taught me this trick, I've never ever gone back to cooking rice, just plain rice, like pilaf, in the traditional way, because it's so darn easy, there's no cleanup involved, and it comes out perfect every single time. So take a guess. I will do a live on exactly the process, but quickly I'm going to explain it to you. What you do is you get a pot. So I love my Pyrex, okay? You get a Pyrex pot, for example, or any dish that's microwave safe. You put the amount of rice that you want to cook, and then the rule is that you fill water up until, so you place the rice, then you start putting water in your pot, and you fill it up only until the water reaches the first ridge of your bone, okay? So your first knuckle here, all right? So you're gonna, this is already cooked now, okay? It's gonna be piping hot, look at that, okay? So you fill up your rice, you place water until it covers the first knuckle of your finger. Once it does that, you put a little bit of salt in it and you throw it in the microwave. Now pretty much every rice that I have cooked since then takes approximately 15 minutes, okay? And that's it. You set the microwave on 15 minutes, you place your pot covered in the microwave, and you let it cook, okay? I believe it's on high. My microwave is a very economical one. There's no high, low, medium, slow, nothing. It's just your standard Daywood microwave, $29.99. Thank you, Nono Jean. And that's it, okay? And then you cook your rice. Make sure you salt the water. You don't even have to rinse your rice, okay? Because it's good, because all the amide, all the starch from the rice, okay? And watch what happens to this rice. So this is black rice. In Italy, it's called riso venere, and it's very, very good for you. It's not, you're not saving on any calories. It's probably more in calories, but better for you health-wise, okay? And so watch how nice and fluffy this comes out. Now this is black rice. The effect might be a little bit less, but you really see that with basmati, okay? You give it a little stir. You fluff it up like that. Now this is black rice. See here, the water? There's a little bit more water than I want. So what I'm gonna do now is, first of all, I'm gonna taste to make sure it's cooked. I'm almost there. So what I can do is place the lid back on after it's been cooked, okay? That's gonna be hot. I would like this to cook another 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm gonna do that. But then the key to this rice, guys, the most important part is I put that back in my microwave, all right? Shut it, 2 minutes, all right? So what you're gonna do is after you take the rice out, after this 2 minutes, it's gonna be more than fine, you keep the lid on for 3 minutes. Don't touch it, don't open it, trust me, okay? Then you take off the lid, and when you're ready to eat, to serve, you serve your rice. You just fork it, make it fluffy, and you'll be fine. Let's go with our asparagus. Why do we go with the asparagus? Because the fish, you can even eat it raw, okay? It's not gonna harm you in any way. This type of fish, it's cured that it won't harm you. But we're gonna need about 10 minutes for our asparagus, okay? So here we go. Not sure if you like cooking asparagus, if you even like asparagus. I am the only one in this household that loves asparagus. So asparagus, how you clean it. You're gonna wash this eventually. Where you know, or how you know where to stop cutting it. So you need the part to be tender, okay? So as soon as you start feeling that there's no more tenderness, you're gonna hear this. Look. Did you hear that? A snap. That's the part that's no good. It's too hard and it'll feel very strange and grainy under your teeth. So you're just gonna snap it where it's tender and get rid of those. For all intents and purposes, I'm just gonna give them a quick cut. Quickly to save time, so it's more or less here. And you'll also feel it with your knife. It's not good there, then that's it, okay? Now, when you're cutting, something important and to remember, you're never cutting like this, okay? Because you're gonna slice your fingers off. Round your fingers and hold it down, okay? So wherever it's tender around here, round your fingers. So even if you cut, you're gonna hit against your bone, not against flesh. All right, guys? Okay, dokie. Okay. And now, I discovered something really gross about asparagus. I don't mean to gross you guys out, but it's so gross that I need to share with you. The next time you buy a bunch of asparagus and you cook it, smell the tips of your asparagus. It is the most unpleasant smell you have ever smelled in your life, I assure you, okay? But I was told it assures for a very good asparagus, okay? Fresh asparagus. They have a very terrible smell on the tips, and I don't need to tell you what they smell like about half an hour after you've ingested them, okay? But they're very good for you, full of minerals, vitamins, not sure which ones, but a whole whack of them, I'm sure. All right, guys, it's as easy as that. Now, you can choose to steam them. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give them a quick little run through. My sink is already clean. You don't have to go nuts. Be careful with the tips of your asparagus, the tops, okay? Make sure you get those like that because they can be sandy, right? And just give them a quick run through. And then be careful, shield your tips. So look what I'm doing here, washing them and then, okay? That looks like a lot, but they're really good and I love them. So it's a bunch. We're gonna do that. We're gonna cook it up. All right, so wash the ends. Okay, shield them and run it through. There goes my microwave. We're gonna time it for about 3 minutes. Mentally, I know more or less how much that is in my brain because we cook our rice always in this manner, therefore I'm used to it. Okay, so washing them to shield it. Okay. These get boiled, so any other bacteria that's on there will come off in the cooking process. All right, so my water should be boiling. Salted water, make sure your water is salted, right? All right, now I'm gonna tell you my trick for asparagus. Something very, very, very simple. Okay, so follow me. Okay, so, ta-da, my water is boiling. We're gonna lift the heat there. Now, in an ideal world, if I had time, I would have placed the larger stem ones or the thicker ones first, because these ones are gonna cook way faster, but it's okay. Seeing as they need literally 5 minutes cooking time, well, maybe not 5, but 10. Yes, my water, my hands are immune to boiling water. That's my superpower. Add to that, okay, is gonna be vinegar. Okay, it gives it a nice bite, but it makes them stay crunchy. Okay, so the acid in the vinegar will do that. Here we go. Any type of white vinegar, okay? Not red vinegar, not wine vinegar, but white. And don't be afraid, don't be shy. Okay, that's it, guys. Our asparagus will be done in 10 minutes. In the meantime, let's prepare our fish. So, we don't need this anymore. Take a gander. I'm going to be preparing this in 2 ways. 2 ways, yep. The salmon first, and then the cod. All right, so the salmon, this is a more of a North American way to prepare the salmon. It's not very common in Italy for one reason. They don't use 2 things here. One is mustard. Okay, this is actually French, Dijon. Okay, the other one is dill. Okay, dill is called aneto in Italian. Ok? Aneto è il finocchietto, più o meno deriva dal finocchietto, ok? E in Italia si chiama l'aneto, for all my Italian friends. Okay, and also they're not very into mustard seeds in general. Okay, so on my salmon, I'm gonna coat it. Here we go. We're gonna start off first. I don't salt my fish because it already holds a lot of salt in it. So I'm gonna get a nice whopping, okay, look at that. Whopping bit there. You don't wanna stick that back in my mustard. Okay, oopie. Yeah, sometimes I do make a mess. Okay. So we're done with that. Okay. I move it for my cod because we don't want that on my cod. Okay. So spread it nicely on my salmon evenly. You don't need a lot. Okay. But you want it to be nicely spread. So you get every little piece of that. Okay. I'm using it on a skillet because it cooks faster and I find it is the best way to cook my fish when it's quick and it remains very, very moist. Okay, guys? It doesn't dry it out in the least. Now, I didn't have pitted olives, so I've chosen to use olives with pits. Okay? And that's not a problem. And why did I use these? Because I was making, I forget what I was making yesterday, and I had a bunch of leftovers, and I thought, well, let's not throw them out. Okay, then we're gonna put capers. Now, the best kind of capers you can buy, and I'm sure you can find them in Canada, are I capri di o da Pantelleria. Da Pantelleria. So they're called capri Pantelleria. They're like plump, good, moist, amazing. Okay, you can find the ones from Pantelleria. Pantelleria is a city in Sicily. Okay, so there's what it looks like so far. We have our base, which is the salmon. We have the mustard spread. Then we have the capers on top. What am I gonna do now? What I'm gonna do now is give it an extra hit of those mustard seeds, just like that, to give it something even a little bit more crunchier. Okay, guys? No salt. Then I'm gonna add a nice dazzle, as I like to say, a dazzle of dill. That is done. Okay, guys? Now, here on my cod, this is actually called cuore di merluzzo, the heart of the cod. Here, I'm not going to do anything too fancy or no big tricks. What I'm going to do is my my famous datterini. Okay, if you don't have datterini date tomatoes, you're going to use any kind of sweet, plump, juicy tomato. Okay, again, sweet, plump, and juicy. Yes, plump. Just like croccante. I like to emphasize that. That's very, very Italiano. All right, so you're gonna put a layer of plump tomatoes there. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's if it falls on the side, so be it. Okay? Because the thing is this, guys, you're not gonna churn this. You are gonna keep this like it is. Okay, so I prepared a few too many tomatoes. So the juice, hold your tomatoes, pour it over. All right, now the olives, you're just gonna strategically place them any which way. Doesn't matter if things fall. Okay, just regroup. You don't need that many, okay, guys? Because really, someone's just gonna taste that in their mouth. They're gonna have to put it in their mouth because they're gonna have to take the pit out, okay? And you're gonna add a few of these bad boys because that's what's gonna give them their taste, okay? Do not salt your cod. Oh my God, that sounds so funny. Do not salt your cod. All right, so there's my cod. All right, and now what do I gotta do here? I have to add wine. We need an acid to this fish, and it's gonna come from our wine. So this is a brand from Sicily. Tonight I'm very with the South. Sicily, Sicilian capers. Shout out to my friends at Sardanelli Tuna. Compare Gregorio, always think of you when I wear this. Okay, so we're gonna use white wine just to give it a little bit of a hit. Guys, something very important to remember about your white wine or cooking wine. There's no such thing as cooking wine because people say, I'm gonna use a less expensive, not such a good wine for my cooking because that'll be a waste. Whatever you're drinking or serving at your table that evening is what you're gonna cook with, okay? Because the wine you cook with is just as important as the wine you're gonna consume. Remember that, okay? All right, so what you're gonna do here is you're just gonna go slowly and pour a little bit of that bad boy on top of your fish. You wanna keep it in its truest form. You don't wanna make things go flying all over the place, okay? Did you see how much I put? Very, very little, because it's gonna release its own water. Okay, this is fresh fish, it's not frozen. Okay, now watch what I do with the oil. Just right on top of it, a little drizzle. Right on top, a little drizzle. Right on top, a little drizzle. Okay, enjoy that view for 1 second, folks, while I get my lid. I'm getting a lid for that because I want to ensure that my flavors stay inside. I've got that all in order, okay, you can add some pepper if you'd like, but not necessary. Actually, tonight I just bought fresh pepper, so we can add some of that. Fresh pepper meaning the actual pepper seed, the pepper itself, the black pepper, in the little round balls. Oh my God, it's only coming to me in Italian. Pepenero intero, okay? So whole black pepper, but I bought the one with the grinder on top, so you can grind it. It'll give it a nice taste. Keep on looking, I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, my videos are very Spartan. There's no editing here, folks. All right, now as soon as I can get this bad boy open, okay. Oh, wow. It says macino. Macino means two things. It's a noun and it's a verb. Macino is to grind. And it also means a grinder. Okay? So here we go. I'm gonna add a hit. It's gonna come out big, don't worry. You want it to be big. Big is good. Okay? Now I'm not gonna add the pepper to that because that's what Allegra is gonna consume and she doesn't like pepper. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna close that up. Can you smell that? Isn't it so good, Dad? If you, there's an actual button that I've invented on YouTube. It's called the scratch and sniff button. Do you guys see it? It's at the bottom right of your screen. Get a little closer, go really close. Scratch, sniff. I had you for a second, didn't I? All right, okay, so these are pretty much done. How do you know they're done? When you stick a fork in it, okay, and the fork comes out. Nice and, okay, look, see that? Stick a fork in it. All right, so that needs maybe half a second more. I really love my asparagus nice and crispy. Speaking of asparagus, I'd like to give a little shout out to one of the largest consumers of asparagus probably in the world, and that would be to my cousin Andrea. These are for you, babes. I'm gonna enjoy them all tonight, okay? So once that's done, we're gonna drain it and I'll show you. So I'm gonna shut that off. You drain it all of a sudden, you're gonna tamper with the texture of your veggies, okay? Slowly, easy does it, okay? You're gonna pour those back in here. And then if it's for you, you don't have to do a nice display. If it's not, you can even wrap these up in parsley. The parsley, the stem of the parsley is quite hard, but now you're gonna put it against the heat. When you wrap it, it's gonna become nice and flexible, okay? And it looks very, very pretty because it's the dark green contrast with the light green contrast, okay? This is how fancy I'm gonna get with you guys tonight. So, it's pretty hot, they're pretty hot, and there's quite a lot. So, plating is very, very important. Very important. And I gotta tell you guys something about plating. Plating, when you've got white plates in the house, you're one step ahead of the game, party people. Because white, oops, looks good with everything. Mine is a little bit of a funny shape. Look, there's some chips there, but we don't really care. Okay. The only spice I'm gonna be adding here is, as you know, a drizzle of olive oil. And I'm gonna treat myself tonight to a little bit of a balsamic glaze from Modena. Now that sounds fancy, doesn't it? Keep your eye on that, and I'll show you what I got. I'll show you what I got, what I really, really got. I got olive oil and balsamic glaze, okay? So you're just gonna do like this on a diagonal way, in a diagonal fashion, so you get Okay, done. All right, and some glaze. Always in a diagonal fashion, okay? And you can get your plate in there too. Look, oh look, wow. Okay, if you want to be really fancy, you can make little drizzles on your plate. You can play with it, you know what I mean, folks? Okay, how pretty is that? All right, so first thing we have is our freshly boiled, steamed asparagus. They smell so good. I'll be back from here, guys. So the key to this is we are not in any way in a hurry to cook this fish. It's gonna simmer. Who's got the keys to my bimmer? Okay, so let's put that on the stove. There you go, it's like that, okay? Look how thick that is, okay? It's nice. So that's gonna take, what you're gonna do is you're gonna raise the heat until it picks up its boil. And then, by doing so, you're gonna cover it and let it cook in its juices. And this is like a poaching method, okay? Without the actual water boiling underneath. It's a semi-poached method, okay? That's that. Let's take a look at our rice. Okay, now that has been sitting for a few more minutes than 3. I'd say that's been sitting there for at least 5 minutes, which is okay, because it tends to hold its cooking time, so we're not gonna get gross. We're not gonna get gummy rice. Be careful when you lift, guys, because there's loads of steam. Look at that. Okay, now, remember that water that was there that we talked about? Goodbye, gone. And look how fluffy your rice is. Okay? And again, scratch and sniff button. It's not there, but I assure you, you guys don't know what you're missing. Okay, so you can keep your lid off and just let the air absorb all that extra heat, vapor, whatever you want to call it. It's still gonna stay warm for when you serve your plate, okay? So far we've got our asparagus on the go and ready to consume. We've got our rice on the go and ready to consume. Let's take a look at our fish. Okay, so see what I was saying? Now it's picking up the boil. You're gonna lower that right down, okay? Now, we don't want too much movement, okay? Now I'm doing this only because it's us. If I was serving guests, I would never cook on the same grill 2 types of fish because it's gonna seep in a little bit, the others. But we don't care, we're kind of like, we'll eat anything even if it mixes with its flavor. And most people have a 5-second rule. Something falls on the floor. Okay, pick it up, 5 seconds, eat it. We have, I think it's, what is it, a 1-day rule there? After a day, we'll go back, oh, look what I found on the floor. Oh, it tastes good. So we're not gonna be bothered too much by that. But if I was cooking for guests, for friends, for anybody, I would have definitely cooked these on 2 separate, in 2 separate pans, okay? In the meantime, that's what my grill looks like. The salmon's getting going here. The cod's gonna pick up in any second now. And that's it, guys. Okay, you're gonna just wait. I will take pictures because I still haven't figured out how to do, you know, those really fancy ones where you have the cucumber and then the next flash is the cucumber already in the plate, all cut up. I haven't figured that out yet. I should get there by next year. But I promise, I will send you a picture of the cooked fish. And that's it. Okay, I hope you like this, guys. If you liked it, I know it sounds corny, but now with this YouTube bit, subscribe, talk to your friends about it. And guys, send me stuff. Send me stuff you want me to make, okay? I'm gonna start breaking into the funky cool Medina here with my sweets. So gli italiani vogliono che faccio sempre questi dolci, il cheesecake, i brownies, i rice crispy squares, bla 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 bla, anche se poi c'è i dolci migliori del mondo, il tiramisù, tutto il resto che possiamo iniziare a parlare adesso, finiamo domani mattina. I'm gonna start putting some sweets on there. Tomorrow I'm gonna make my no knead black 7 cereal bread with walnuts. Okay, so I promise I'll get that to you guys. It's a 24-hour, there is a 24-hour rising time to that bread. So I will show you how it's made, then we'll come back the next day. You have to stay online or else you won't. I'm joking. Anyway, and I'll show you the next day what it looks like. It is the best bread on the planet. We have not purchased a loaf of bread since March 4th, since lockdown. I had to stop making the bread actually 2 weeks ago because, well, you can just imagine, it went all to the, I like big butts and I cannot lie. Anyway, we've got that under control, but I will make it for you guys and I'll give it to my neighbors. Okay guys, see you soon. Thanks for joining. Mwah! And buon appetito.